Alright, we got our 2018 Nissan Altima here. We're going to be replacing this exhaust manifold gasket here today. Now if you're getting a ticking noise, smelling some exhaust, or just the overall loudness, now you may need to replace this. I'm going to show you how to do it. So I'm going to show you step by step two ways. One way is less part removal. The other way is going to require a little bit more part removal, but maybe easier. So you're going to need manifold gasket. You're also going to want to get yourself one of these gaskets. It's going to go on the exhaust on the lower part of the manifold. I will leave links to both of these. Said these part numbers, a lot of times the compatibility charts, ignore them. They will tell you that it doesn't fit, but it will fit. Okay, so depending on which method you use, this should have all the tools you need here. So aside from ramps, a jack and a jack stand, I've got a drill with a wire brush. It's not completely necessary. I got another wire brush, a small flat screwdriver. This is a little Phillips head bit. A couple of extensions, sockets. We got 21, 16. See, we've got a 14, a 13, a 12, and a 10 millimeter. This is a small micro ratchet, and then this is just a trim tool here for popping the little clips off. I've got a little 2-inch putty knife. Here we have a serpentine belt tool, just a 3/8, just a pry bar. This is a slim ratchet. You can get these at Harbor Freight. It's got a 3/8 and a 1/4 on one side. This is the tool I use to get the serpentine belt. That's a 17 millimeter socket on there. Just another big ratchet for breaking stuff loose, and then a foot-pound torque wrench. You're going to want to have some anti-seize. I've got a little bit of medium thread locker and just some alcohol. Okay, so you see, first thing, we've got it up on ramps here. Now you want to let the vehicle completely cool off before you ever start working on it. Go ahead and chalk your rear tire as well. First thing, we're going to remove this piece. There's just some push pins. I've left most of these out, but you're going to have a bunch of these around here. You need to remove all of them. We're going to get this air duct here out of the way. 10 millimeter bolts here. Okay, our decorative shroud here, we're going to have some pins. You're really going to have to pull up on this. It's got a rubber grommet that snaps in. Get our negative. Right on to the heat shield. These are tins as well. We got a couple more down here. We got one right here. So our upper O2 sensor, squeeze down. Okay, now we just have these 14s. I've got one over here to start with. And these are going to be pretty tight initially. And you'll find you have to kind of just play around with some different extensions, stuff to get better access. Okay, so this farthest bolt right over here is the only, or nut rather, 14mm nut is the one that makes this whole job difficult. Otherwise it would be really simple. Alright, so I'm just going to take a 14mm, it's a 12-sided, and we're going to slip this down here, and we're going to have to move it around a little bit to get my positioning where I want it. The square drive part is the part that I'm referring to, that I need to get into position. So maybe about right there. Okay, so I've got a serpentine belt tool, and this is the only thing that's thin enough to fit in here that I've found. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip this in here and get it on the drive. It ain't going to lock down all the way because you don't have room, but you want to make sure that it's absolutely on that nut enough to where it's not going to slip or anything. I said it's going to be extremely tight, so if you think that you're not going to be able to get it, then you won't be able to do it this way, and you want to just try it another way. But if you can get it broke loose, and usually with this tool you can, and we're going to have to reposition it several times to get it completely off here. So we get it to turn a little bit, reorient the socket, and then we'll place it on here and turn it a little bit more. We have to do that every time till we get it loose enough to where we can either get in here with the socket or my small micro ratchet, or turn it by hand. Okay, so basically once I've broke it free, I've got my little micro ratchet as an adapter. Now my little 1/4-inch swivel would be more ideal, but I broke it, so this is what I have to work with. And I'm just gonna get it moving here until I can get in there and spin it with my fingers. It's pretty loose now. Alright, so there we have it. Okay, we're going to go down underneath now since we got all these nuts off. Okay, down here we got some 16s, so these are going to be rusty and very tight. If you do snap these off, it's really pretty simple. Take you a drill, because you're going to have this manifold off, drill the thing out. Try not to drill it any bigger than the bolt itself, and usually you can just dig the rest of it out or run a chaser through there. Just put you a bolt through the back side where this stud was. Alright, and you can see with those out, loose down there, we can pull this back. Just pull it right up and out there. So for some people, you may not be able to get to this bolt over here, so for that purpose we're gonna do it in a different way. So I'm just gonna put it back on here. I'll just put that bolt back on, or that nut, and I'll show you the other way. Okay, so like I said, shock your rear wheel. If you have the wheel cover, just go ahead and pop that off. Or let's go ahead and break these 21s loose. Just show you where I'm lifting it at here. Now you're going to notice when you come in here you got a fender liner plastic piece that's clipped to the fender liner. Probably even have the little plastic going under there, but I don't have any of that on mine. I took this out when I was doing my headlights. Don't even know if I'm going to put it back in. Okay, so right here you're looking at the tensioner. Okay, this is my Harbor Freight thin ratchet, and it seems to be the only thing that works for these, like, well anyways. So we got a 17 millimeter, and we're going to go up here and get on to this tensioner, and I'll show you that. Okay, so you see that 17 millimeter hex there on that tensioner. That's what we got to get on, and this tool makes it real easy. You just come up here and I can get a hold of that, and we'll just start giving it some tension here. And this is pretty tight, but you can slip this off literally anywhere you want here. I can come up here and I can slip it off of this. I can slip it off down below, just wherever. So let me back it up here a little bit. Just going to slip it off right there. Now, while I've got this tension over here, I can also put a nail in this. Okay, I determined a Phillips head bit works better. The nail's too small to hold the tension. But you can see with that, I mean, I can just slip my belt back on and everything whenever I get ready, so I don't have to worry about, and I'll just pull the pin. Okay, we're back up top. We're going to get the alternator wires here. This is a 12 millimeter nut. I'm going to push in on the tab. You're going to hear it click. Grab a hold of that connector. And here I'm just using my slim ratchet again. Gonna work on this upper one here first. Okay, this one down here on the lower part's a little bit harder to see. Try to give you a shot of it here. It's easy to get to, but a little bit more difficult to see down in here. You need a good light. Just reaching down here and getting it the rest of the way. And there we have the lower. Now I just take a pry bar and just gently pop that out of the way. And sometimes you have to pry the lower part if it gets stuck. We'll just pull this right up out of here, or try to. Alright, so just flop it around. So with that out of the way, we can see we can easily get to this and torque it, whatever you need to do, but it is more work. And I'm going to take a little bit of alcohol here and just kind of wipe it up. You can see this chamfered surface in here. I'll just kind of clean that up a little bit. You don't have to get this perfect. I'm just going over it a little bit to knock any loose stuff off of it. The gasket's going to do the sealing. So it's not going to matter which way this goes, as long as it's facing up like that. We're going to take the time to put this anti-seize on all of the studs. Okay, this is our pipe coming to the bottom of the manifold. So I'm going to take this 2-inch putty knife and we're just going to pry that old ring off. And once I've got it pried up enough, I'll just switch over to this clip floor. Like it's just almost now. Our new one's going to fit loose at first. Once we get everything smashed on here, it'll be nice and tight. We're going to put the anti-seize on these as well. And we'll want to get that bottom set on while we're doing this. I'm just going to barely start one of these on. We're going to come back and tighten these. Now I just like to start in the middle and work my way out. Alright, so we're going to torque these to 25 foot-pounds. I don't know what they do them in factory, but they're a lot more than 25 foot-pounds. And then we'll just go back and just double check them. Now, had I not been demonstrating, I would have tightened that with my serpentine belt tool. I would have torqued the ones I could. Alright, we're going to torque these to 35 foot-pounds. Alright, we're going to go ahead and work our alternator back. So you got to get it oriented like that, or you cannot get it to fit. I think I'm going to go ahead and work the lower one on once I get it swung up in place here. Got a little bit of medium Loctite. And just like the top here, you got to get it lined up so the bolt's going to go through. Go ahead and snug both these up. And I'm torquing these to 20 foot-pounds. You can easily get to both of these. I'm going to go ahead and place the belt back on here. We want to make sure that it's on everything properly before we pull our pin. Okay, so just making sure that it's on there properly. Come down below and check, make sure it's in all the other grooves. And you can see we got our pin right there. So all I got to do, since I put that in there, is just get the tension on it, and we'll pull that pin out. There we are. Get our O2 sensor connector. And it's a good idea to put anti-seize on these little bolts too. Just get these 4 back in here. Started a couple threads and then move on till the next so they all line up. All right, we'll go ahead and get the wheel back on here. Just snugging them all up a little bit in a star pattern, and we'll torque them once we get some weight on it. Going to torque these to 85 foot-pounds. Alright, so let's crank it up and see how it sounds. Okay, so it's sounding really good here. It's definitely quieting that exhaust down. Of course, you know, you want to check and make sure that your belt is not making any noise, that everything's good. You will have a little bit of burn off from the anti-seize, so you'll be smelling a little bit of that for a little bit. Alright, so I've showed you two ways that you can replace this exhaust manifold gasket. You decide which one's going to work the best for you. So if you found value in this, please hit the like button. Consider subscribing to the channel. That's going to do it for the video, and thank you for watching.